I slay on Christmas. On Christmas Eve, a troubled man escapes from his stress into the forest. He comes across 4 pine cones. They each reveal a Christmas terror which escalates into real-life horror. The only fair way to do an anthology is to do it section by section. So let's look at each of them. Let's call this first one the narration sequence since it directs the film overall. Right off the bat, you know you're dealing with something low budget. There's some panning with a digital camera that creates this weird pixelation. I've been down this road myself when making movies. There's some green screen work with a news anchor that's pretty amateur. You can see wrinkles in the actual green screen at times, but the subject delivering the news is lit pretty well. A couple times we've come across some low light noise, which is common in these types of movies, and even I struggle with it at times. The dialogue volume is pretty low, causing you to choose between jacking up the volume or trying to lip read. Later on you have a woman stripping, which is always welcome, but her speaking volume is low in comparison to the film glitching a sound effect. The uneven volume is pretty consistent during the first narration sequence. The acting didn't seem too bad, but in the confusion of trying to understand what was happening, or what was about to happen, it's overshadowed by trying to piece together the puzzle. Segment 1, All Chopped Up and Nowhere to Go, produced by Joe D. Wynkoop and Sean Donahue. The appearance is a little blown out at times. If time had been taken to dial back the brightness, highlights, and whites, I think this would have had a nice snuff film feel to it. The props, I'd recommend considering other choices before using these ones again. There was one more spot that I saw as an issue. There's a couple shots where you could see a man filming in the mirror. The dialogue was very low. In fact, when you first see the woman talking, I wasn't sure if you were supposed to hear. It wasn't until the man started speaking that I knew you were supposed to hear the voices. The plot is pretty weak as a story, but as far as painting a picture of how this family works, it's spot on. The lead man steals the show. He's everything we want in a character that we're supposed to hate. He's 100% over the top, and I wouldn't have him any other way in this role. At first, I didn't know what to think of this one, but upon reflection, I liked it. The man is deranged, and it's perfect. Between the segments, there's a scene of 2 men talking. The guy in the woods with the pine cones and the guy that might be representing the devil. The guy with the pine cones is standing in front of a green screen, which is poorly done, whereas the devil guy, his is much better, but still not perfect. The main issue stemming from his hair, which is a problem without someone who really knows what they're doing with the green screen. Trust me, I've been there myself. Segment 2, The Best of Company, produced by Sylvia Bruno. This one looks pretty good. There's some strange video effects used at times, and I'm not sure what the purpose of the use is, but it's not a deal breaker. The volume fluctuates, but thankfully there are subtitles, and it's all in Spanish. The story was interesting. It takes you in one direction, and you're pretty sure you know what's going to happen, but at the last second, you're detoured down a completely different path. I like that. The acting by Penelope Bogado as Claudia and Walter Alonso as Luis were believable, and even Rudy Ledbetter made an appearance. That man's at everything. Overall, I like this segment. I would like to see where the story could go, or perhaps how it started. Maybe in the future we'll get a taste of some more. Section 3, Regifting, produced by Debbie D. and James Pancetta. The video quality is the best so far. Maybe a little blown out as far as the whites when the lead actress is on the phone in a white room. The lady in the red outfit and fishnets is disturbing to me for some reason. The sound is far more consistent than the others as well, but there's still a little more room for improvement, as the sound effects for the phone ringing is way too loud. There's a part where we first meet the boyfriend, and you can barely hear him, and then it switches scenes and he's so loud that he's distorted. The plot is pretty straightforward with no major twist. The main lead female is quite talented, and you do end up sympathizing with her in hopes that she'll find what she's looking for. The boyfriend sells the role of the nice guy, so all in all, they have done a good job. I liked it, but I'm glad it wasn't any longer. Even though I liked the characters, I'm not sure how long they would have kept my attention. Segment 4, Christmas Revenge, directed by Derek Brash. The quality was pretty good on this one. There's a scene where the kid comes down the stairs that the red lighting used is a little too close and it blows out the shot with red. However, it's easy to ignore because everything else looks good. There was some good choices made when it comes to camera angles and framing. There are no complaints with the audio. This segment is by far the best mixed with vocal levels as well as score and sound effects. The plot caught me off guard and I want to know more. I wasn't sure if what was going on was really going on, but with every scene I found myself wanting to know what was going to happen next. That's a good thing. Everyone in this short killed it. Everyone was on point, but none so much as old Saint Nick, played by A.J. Laird. Justin Bowers played Curtis, may have been the weakest actor in the film, but he was far from forgettable. Nina Trader comes in as Mrs. Claus and steals the show. This is one of the best shorts I've seen in a while. I really hope that there are plans to turn this into a full feature someday, as I would like to be in line to get my copy. This story really makes you wonder what led up to what we saw and what happened after. Segment 5. There's no name for this one, so we're just going to call it The Pinecone Guy Kills His Girlfriend. The quality on this was pretty good while Mary's in the bathroom, but when it cuts to Joseph looking out the window, it's very hazy and doesn't look like they were filmed by the same person. You would expect the bathroom scene to be hazy since she just got out of the shower. It's obvious that they were not in the same room, and at the end, it could have been easily remedied by someone wearing gloves and putting hands on her. The sound is mixed pretty good until the man walks in and starts his conflict with Mary. Then the vocals become too quiet. There's not much of a plot, and what little there is, the man explains at low volume. You can hear enough of what he's saying to tie what he's doing together, but a little more build-up would have cemented the ending. Both played their parts well. I would have just liked to see them both together when it was filmed. It was so short and basically a one-trick pony, so there's no time to build up a rapport with the characters. It does lead into the narration sections, so there's a little more to it. They could have written something to bridge the gap a wee bit more. Here's some final notes. The evil narrator guy did a great job, but it could have been so much better without the green screen. Or if the green screen was used, if maybe he would have pulled his hair back or something so you didn't have the hair issue. Another question I had was, the guy walking at the end in the woods, why was he surprised that there were pine cones? He's in the woods. The explanation of the cones could have been a little better suited in the beginning rather than at the end. At least then we would have had an idea of what was really going on. Music was provided by the Donner Party, and now I have to look into them because I like what I heard. The whole thing was produced by Phil and Nancy Herman. All in all, I liked it. It was a good job. I know I critiqued it pretty hard, but there were definitely some diamonds in this one.